Back, is there further discussion on the bill? Mr. Wittman, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm the proud sponsor of H.R. 556, Protecting Access to Hunters and Anglers Act, and I'm amused at people that talk about they're the advocates for science, yet they wouldn't know science if they tripped over it. I worked as a scientist for the Virginia Department of Health for 27 years, and under the federal statute and state statutes, I was required to gather data before I made a decision about whether areas should be open or closed for the safe taking of shellfish, crustacea, and others. So what we're saying now is we have a different standard. We just carte blanche close areas with no data, without any direct link to the use of lead, whether it's fishing tackle or ammo, and closing these areas for access for sportsmen. It just astounds me that it's okay in one area to use this. It's okay to claim in one area that you're this advocate for science, and then you turn around and say, no. And people that don't even know what science is. I worked as 27 years, I have a PhD in science. And I'm going to be lectured by others that say somehow we don't need to collect data. This bill is simply about this. It's about collecting data before we make decisions that affect sportsmen. We do it in other areas. We do that for the taking of shellfish. We do that for the taking of crustacea to make sure the public is protected. And it was a perfect example. We've seen this in the Charles M. Russell Wetland Management District in Montana. Without using any accurate science to substantiate its policies, the Fish and Wildlife Service recommended an outright ban on lead tackle and ammo. Sounds convenient. Just close it all down. We don't care. We don't need to collect the data. And they didn't even look at what the impact was on wildlife. It's just, we think there's a problem here. Is there an association with lead poisoning and animals? Yes. But the key is it's not in every situation. It's a matter of, are they going to ingest lead? Is it there in a scientifically significant concentration, actually cause an impact on wildlife? Another important part of this bill is to remember that this is about access to the people that own this land. This land doesn't belong to members of Congress. It belongs to the citizens of the United States. They paid for this land. They pay for maintaining this land. They pay for the staffs that are on the U.S. Fish and Wildlife agencies. And yet we're saying, nope, we're going to be high and mighty. We're going to say, you don't get access to that because we want to place some arbitrary and capricious requirement there that says we can close it. We don't have to use data to close it. We just close it. Some of my colleagues are going to oppose this legislation, say the bill is a rubber stamp to use lead anywhere. It is not. It is anything but that. This is about developing the data, the science that the other side claims they want to have, but only use science when it supports your argument. If it doesn't support your argument, then we look at it and go, no, we fly right past it. Just these carte blanche bans if it suits your means. If you're going to use science the proper way, you need to use it in every circumstance. Not just a circumstance that supports your argument, but in every circumstance. This bill does promote site-specific scientific data collection and decision-making to make sure that we are managing the resources of this country in the best interest of everyone. Everyone. That's the key. Each refuge, each parcel of land has its own unique ecosystems and biological makeup. That's the uniqueness of this country and how these ecosystems function. It's how I had to work in my job. I had to collect samples at stations literally within sight of each other to determine the water conditions change here. They change another 300 yards down the road. They're different. It's a dynamic environment. This is not a static environment. If anything we know is that this exists within the real world and that data should drive science-based decisions. System-wide and statewide bans are short-sighted and ineffective, and they create problems in the underpinning decisions that we make on these resources. I urge my colleagues to vote yes on this common sense legislation. Let's make it science-based. Let's gather the information, and when the information indicates that on these sites, I have no problem with saying we shouldn't allow the use of lead tackle or lead ammunition. But carte blanche bans, looking past that, saying we don't have any data, we're just going to go ahead and shut things down, and getting lectured to by people that haven't got a shred of experience in the realm of science or collecting data or making public policy decisions is frustrating. With that, Mr. Chairman, I yield back.